is Glenda Hogenhout. I was born in Jagged River. It's between Campbellton and Bathurst, New Brunswick. And I live in Fredericton and Barker's Point. I want to share with everyone how I've found deliverance and the key that God has given me to open up inside of people where their deepest pain is and to have it removed. I always knew I had a call on my life. I've been trying to serve God. It's like 40 years. And I would continue to backslide. I'd serve God for so many years. Then I would backslide, go back in to the world. And I knew that the world was not for me. So I'd come back to God. I served God for a while. I'd backslide and I'd go back out again. I did it 3 times. And I don't have to do that anymore. Because my hope, my everything is in Christ. And He's given me a key for deliverance. And God has delivered me from my childhood traumas. And He's delivered me from the spirit of grief. And my life is, I can't even explain it. You know, when you're young, you figure your life's all ahead of you and you're all excited about what you're going to do. And I would never go back to being young. I'm young now in the spirit. I was an old woman in spirit. I carried around everybody's pain and suffered tremendously with chronic depression, in and out of mental hospital, doctors, counselors, altar calls, prayer meetings. I'd even chase people down that were Christians. Can you help me? Can you pray for me? I need prayer. I need this and this and this and this. And I know they're thinking in their heads, oh no, here she comes. And I don't have to do any of that anymore because God has given me a key to get in to take out trauma. And my childhood was trauma, and my son's death was trauma, and if he wouldn't have taken out the childhood trauma, I would never been able to face his murder. And I did it. And I'm able to forgive. And that's where all our pain is in unforgiveness. It does all kinds of things to us. It gives us anything at all, headaches, sleepless nights, anxiety, depression, and physical ailments, and it does an awful lot to your body and to your mind. But when you're set free, your mind's free, and now you can have more of Christ, which was promised to you, but now you can have it because the garbage is taken out. There's room for Him. I got room for Him now to live in me and to do whatever it is that He wants to do. So I always knew that God had a call on me, and I keep saying, this is a long time I'm waiting here, but you have to go to a certain place with God and to get go through refiner's fire, and you don't make wine unless the grapes are crushed and the juice is squeezed out. And so I know that God has been waiting for me to have the oil. So now I have oil, just like the 10 virgins. 5 were foolish and the other 5 were wise. The wise one had the oil. How do you get oil? You got to be crushed. Not everybody wants to be crushed. So the 5 unwise virgins asked the wise virgins, can I have some of your oil? Well, the hour is late now and I can't give you any of my oil. You have to go get your own. So it's very important to be with God in everything. Whatever tragedy, whatever comes your way, and life's life, and living on life's terms. There's going to be something. If it hadn't already happened, it's going to happen. And the crushing isn't as scary as what we think it is. Now, the pain that I walked in, that was more scary. And I had to do the work up all hours of the night, journaling, and didn't know if I was going to make it. But God brought me through it. And I also came to a place, if I die here, then so be it. But I'm going through it with you. And he took me out, and I'm not the same person. You've been so crushed so many times, and you take it to God, and he heals you of it. Life isn't scary. Like, I'm not afraid of death anymore. I'm not afraid of people anymore. Life's life, and journaling out all my rage. So grief's rage, depression's rage, and if it's turned in on yourself, you're going to be very, very sick. So depression, it comes from rage. So the reason why I would be depressed, because I would turn it in myself. So I always had this voice saying, you're no good, you never amount to anything, you're a terrible mother, you'll never be a good mother. And each time I backslid, that's the voice that I heard, and I would lose the war. And I would go out and I'd become a terrible mother.
So when you started your walk with Christ, did you have a family that was also walking in Christ, or was this your own kind of journey at the time?
I had some relatives that was walking with Christ in the very beginning, but they didn't understand it. I thought they knew, and I thought the pastor knew, and I thought Christians knew how to walk out of this, and nobody really knew. So no, I didn't have anybody to help me to be a Christian, or, I continue going to church, but God's teaching me out of his own hand, where I don't have support. I don't have Christian friends that are supporting me and going to pray for me, and, or family members. It's, how you doing? Do you need prayer? No, I've never had that. I had to do it all on my own. And for the pain that I suffered, I never want anyone to ever feel the pain. So sometimes I joke, or I'm encouraging, or it's all from that pain. I never want anyone to ever feel the way that I've felt, and to feel alone and unwanted and unloved. I don't want people to feel that. So I say that in my conversations, blessing people with hope. And that's the name of my ministry. It's called Hope for Healing. And there's hope for everyone. There's nobody that's excluded. Little ones and older ones and the oldest ones. No one is excluded. God has hope for everyone. But how do you find it? Where do you go? How do you get it? And so it has to be, like a lot of people say, well, I journal, and well, how do you really journal? See, my journaling was rage. So I swore for 4 years on paper. And for every sentence I'd be putting go, because I'm doing deliverance. And then I take those papers and I burn them, and I ask for a pardon in the courts of heaven. So it's in me. Not everybody can just pray for a pardon in the courts of heaven. It's in me. And layer after layer after layer put in from God, because of the helmet of salvation, the study that I do.